So this video is going to be probably a little bit more controversial because the question always comes up, what's the best way to get listings? What's the fastest way to get listings? What's the most efficient way to get listings? And the debate is it cold calling? Is it outbound telephone prospecting? Or is it marketing and advertising? And so I want to give you a couple things to think about in today's video. And nothing I'm going to say today is meant to offend you, but it is meant to give you the truth. Because if you're like me, that's the only thing you're really interested in is the truth. I am under the belief, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I am a big believer in being in control of your destiny, being in control of the outcome, being in control of your income. I'm not a huge fan of the thought or theory of waiting or doing things where we can't necessarily control the outcome, or doing things that are more passive, or doing things that are left up to chance. I'm not going to live my life that way. I'm not going to build my business that way. It's too risky. So the first thing I want to look at is, why do I believe that making outbound telephone prospecting phone calls, or knocking on doors, or sending direct messages through Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, why do I believe in playing offense, outbound lead generation, outbound prospecting versus what I would call a passive approach, which is marketing or advertising, where you're doing maybe some Facebook ads, or you're doing some Google ads, or you're sending direct mail out to a neighborhood and waiting for people to call you. The reason why I believe in outbound, being in control or playing offense, is for a couple reasons. Number one, you have a targeted approach versus more of a generalized approach. So let me explain. If we put in your business, or we create a business plan in your business that's built around outbound prospecting or outbound lead generation, we can target who we go after. We can focus on expired listings, for sale by owners, for rent by owners, absentee owners, probate, divorce attorneys, CPAs, assisted living, your past clients, center of influence database. We can directly target those folks with our activities. When we look at the opposite approach with marketing, and we send out blast marketing or blast advertising, or we put up a billboard, or we do a commercial, or we do a Facebook ad, or we do a Google ad, or we send out mailers to a big neighborhood, we have no clue who's seeing the ad. Is it the right people seeing the ad? And you have to sit back and hope that somebody is going to call you. You have to sit back, wait, and hope that somebody is going to contact you. And ladies and gentlemen, the first truth, in my belief, in my opinion, hope is not a strategy. Number two, we talked about this a little bit already, but you're in control. When you have a business model or a business plan that's primarily built around outbound prospecting, outbound lead generation, you're putting yourself in the driver's seat. You're putting yourself in control of the amount of money you are going to earn in this real estate business, how many listings you take, how many listings you sold, how fast you grow your business. You're in control of all of it. My argument on the marketing or advertising side of the business, I don't believe that you have as much control. And in just a second, I'm going to essentially prove it to you. I'm going to break down all of the numbers taking an outbound prospecting approach versus marketing, and you'll see why I have this position and why I believe in outbound prospecting so much. And then number three, duplicatable. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's not. You can't duplicate using marketing or advertising like you can with outbound prospecting. Meaning, with the plan I'm going to show you guys here in just a second, once you've established an average conversion ratio with your outbound prospecting efforts, you can continue to duplicate that every day, every week, every month, every year, and then your business will continue to grow. Well, if you're doing Facebook ads, you cannot tell me, or if you're doing social media advertising, or you're doing a Google pay-per-click campaign, or you're farming a neighborhood, you cannot tell me that you can duplicate. Maybe you sent out 10,000 mailers this month. You got 3 people to call you. You cannot tell me that you can duplicate that exact same result in the next 30 days. It's impossible. We don't know. You're not in control. And, here's some more truth. This is the part that this is really the reason why I made this video, amongst all the questions you guys are asking me here on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram DM. I have people are putting advertising on my YouTube channels, and you probably have seen them. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to put anybody on blast. You've seen people put ads on my YouTube channels saying cold calling is dead, cold calling is a thing of the past, and they're selling some type of marketing thing, some type of social media thing, some types of Facebook ads, something like that. And here's the truth, and I'm not going to use names because I'm not going to put anybody on blast. This is what made me make this video. I have had some of those specific people reach out to me for coaching because their own advertising thing that they sell, they admitted to me it does not work, and they have to learn how to sell. They have to learn sales skills. They need to learn how to pick up the phone, play offense, and go out there in the marketplace and earn listing appointments, earn listings. And I'm not going to name names because I told them I wouldn't do that, but it's pretty ironic that the people that are placing ads on my YouTube channel telling you guys that cold calling is dead, that prospecting is a thing of the past, you got to do social media. The reason why that marketing works so well for you guys is because it's exactly what you want to hear. Picking up the phone and making outbound prospecting calls every single day, that is very, very hard. It's the hardest work you can do in this business, yet it's the most efficient. Going out knocking doors, even more efficient, even more effective, even harder. So when a marketer comes to you and says, dude, you don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't have to listen to any of that. Come do this thing. Come do this Facebook advertising campaign. Come do this social media calendar thing, and you can get business without having to pick up the phone, without having to talk to people. Well, you hear that message and you're like, well, that's exactly what I want. I was hoping and praying that there's got to be a better way that I don't have to pick up the phone. And the reality is, those people, most of those people, again, I'm not going to name names, but most of those people selling you marketing and advertising are not in real estate. And all the people that are advocating for outbound prospecting are. And look at this. I want you to really, really pay attention as you're thinking about, okay, what voice am I going to listen to out there on social media? What advice am I going to take? And who am I going to take seriously? Who am I going to take action on based on their advice, and who am I not? Because the thing you're going to find is that people that tell you, oh, you don't need to prospect, you don't need to call for sale by owners. You might even get this advice from your broker. You have to look at their own results. And what you're going to find is this. Anybody who gives you the advice that picking up the phone is old school, or picking up the phone no longer works, or that's, that type of stuff, stay away from that. You want to do social media stuff. Anybody that gives you that advice, I promise you, either they're not in the business or they've never succeeded at a super, super high level in real estate. I'm talking about selling 50, 60, 80, 100, 200, 300, 400 homes a year. They've never done it. They've never done it before. And all the people giving you advice telling you, listen, don't listen to the marketers. You've got to pick up this phone. I don't care what people are telling you. Stay away from shiny objects. Stay focused. All of those people have actually succeeded in real estate. And don't take my word for it. I want you to do some due diligence on people that you are listening to. And I think that's what you're going to find. Is all the marketers, all the people saying, hey, do this little gimmick, do this new bot on Facebook, go look them up. They're not even in the business, let alone selling real estate in high volume. All the people that are advocates for making outbound prospecting phone calls or going to knock doors or playing offense, these are the people like myself in the business, in the trenches every single day. We know what works, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. So let's talk about, I'm going to take a very, very conservative approach, okay? And I want to talk to you about how a simple outbound prospecting business plan can get you a listing. I'm going to give you specific numbers, which marketers cannot do. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Now, these are averages. As your sales skills increase, these numbers will go down. And what happens over time, so I tell all my students in my coaching program, is, the learning is in the doing. As your skills increase, your numbers will get better. All right, so here's what we're going to look at. So to get one listing, okay, you're probably going to have to go on 2 listing appointments. Just an average, but the average here is a 50% conversion ratio. You go on 2 listing appointments, you walk out of there with 1 listing contract signed. Well, what do you need to do in order to get 2 listing appointments? Well, you're probably going to need to set 4 listing appointments. Why? Because on average, again, as your skills increase, this will get better, but on average, you'll probably have a 50% appointment kept ratio, meaning for every 4 appointments you set, 2 will cancel. Either they'll cancel on you or you'll cancel on them because the quality of the appointment might not just be there. Well, the next question is, well, Brandon, if I have to set 4 appointments, what do I have to do on average to set 4 appointments? Well, again, on average, it's going to take you about 100 conversations with active seller leads. We're talking about expireds for sale by owners, for rent by owners, absentee owners, probates, just listed, just sold calls, assisted living, people going through a divorce. We're talking about active leads. It's going to take you about 100 conversations over the phone to set a qualified and quality listing appointment. So if you need 4, you do the math. That suggests you need 400 conversations over the course of a week, a month, whatever your goals are, to set 4 appointments, to go on 2, to take 1. You with me so far? So if we look at this and we break this down even more, that breaks down to about, if we did 30 contacts a day in 2 weeks' time, in 14 days from a time perspective, in 40 hours worth of work, because you're probably, if you're on a dialer like a Vulcan 7 or a Mojo or a Red-X, you should be able to have 10 conversations per hour. So in 40 hours worth of work, doing 30 contacts a day, it's going to take you about 2 weeks worth of work. You should be able to secure 1 listing. Now, as it relates to your goals, if you want more, I'm just going to give you a simple plan. If you wanted to make $100,000 a year in real estate and your average commission was $5,000 on a blueprint like this, on a business plan like this, here's what you'd have to do. We break this down. This is why this plan is so, you can duplicate this plan, which you cannot do with marketing or advertising. To make $100K, average sales or average commission of $5,000 means you need 20 closed transactions. In order to do so, we're going to use the same averages, okay? You're going to need to take 25 listings. 80% of your listings on average will sell. Well, in order to take listings, how many appointments do we need to go on? 50% conversion. How many appointments do we need to set? Well, if we have a 50% appointment kept ratio, that means over the course of a year, you've got to set 100 listing appointments. How do we do that? We times that by 100, gets you to 10,000 conversations over the course of a year. If we break that down into 240 working days, it's 40 conversations a day. 40 conversations a day virtually guarantees you a minimum of $100,000 a year as a real estate agent. Whether you're brand new or you've been in this business for 20 years, it does not matter. This is why I'm such an advocate of building a business plan and a business strategy around outbound prospecting. Because if you look at marketing and advertising, how come none of these companies, when you sign up and you pull out your credit card, can give you numbers like this? Isn't that a little bit odd? Don't you find that a little bit kind of strange or scary? Where if you ask them, okay, Bob, Sue, what is it going to take? How much am I going to have to pay you? How many ads am I going to have to generate to get a listing? What do they always tell you? Well, everyone's conversion ratio is a little bit different, so we really can't say. They have no idea. And if you do get lucky and you end up getting a listing based on some marketing gimmick or some marketing widget or gadget or something, can you duplicate it again the following month? Can you duplicate it again after the following month? And I think what you're going to find as you get more and more experience in this industry is all of those shiny objects are nothing more than distractions. They're making millions and billions of dollars every single year selling you on why you don't have to pick up the phone, which is like music to your ears, distracting you from doing the real work in this business. And the real work, the real truth, which is what you're after, I believe, is you are going to have to take action every single day, whether that be picking up the phone, knocking doors, sending direct messages, going to networking events. You are going to have to take action every single day. Talk to as many people as you can. Meet with as many prospects as you can to even give yourself a chance to make it in this industry. Just to give yourself a chance. Because for most of us, we don't come in this industry with high skills. The skills come later. The skills come through taking the action that I'm talking about. And marketing and advertising, to me, is nothing more than a distraction. It's too unpredictable. It's too much based on hope and pray. It's too passive. It's too risky for me. If you'll commit to growing your sales skills, you can win in this business. It becomes a very, very simple process. The numbers I just outlined to you are averages. We have some agents that we work with in our coaching program where they're setting listing appointments for every 20 conversations they have. We have agents in our coaching program that are taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 listings per month their first year in real estate. It can absolutely be done if you're willing to pay the price and if you're willing to do the work. There's no reason why you can't achieve your goals in this industry. So I'm going to leave you with this. If you are serious about becoming a listing agent, I'm going to put a link beneath this video. I'm going to open this up to you. I'm going to invite you to schedule a one-on-one coaching consultation. We can talk about working together. We can talk about putting a blueprint and a plan together for us to work together over the next 12, 24, 36 months to accomplish the goals that you've set. Click the link beneath this video. I'll look forward to talking with you and walking you through a strategy that I think you'll find is clear, without the BS, and you'll know exactly what you need to do to win in this business. So hopefully today's video made sense. If it did, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps me out, and we'll plan on seeing you guys in the next video very soon. Thanks for watching.